What is wrongful foreclosure? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not predatory lending. It's not the existence of MERS on your mortgage or MERS as the foreclosing beneficiary. It's not a bank foreclosing without standing, for instance, not being in possession of your promissory note or having already been paid for your promissory note or your loan being sold to a new beneficiary. It's not an assignment. A lot of people come to me with this. It's not an assignment of your deed of trust into a securitized trust that occurs after the closing date of the trust in violation of the pooling and servicing agreement. It's not that. Wrongful foreclosure is something specific and wrong that a servicer does to a borrower. These actions will usually follow a notice of default being recorded and will usually involve tricking you into missing your foreclosure sale date. For example, you're offered a trial payment plan, a TPP, and promise that if you make 3 payments, you will get a modification. But the 3rd payment somehow goes missing. You sent it, they cashed it, but they can't account for it. Now the servicer has recorded a notice of trustee sale and there's a sale in 10 days. Then they'll tell you, oh, okay, here's some new modification paperwork, and it looks like you have additional time, and you're told you have 30 days to submit this new paperwork. They don't tell you that they're still going to foreclose. And while you're filling out the paperwork, boom, they sell your house. Or say you're on the 3rd TPP payment and your servicer sells your servicing rights to a new servicer who doesn't accept your 3rd TPP payment, can't find your paperwork, never heard of this plan that you have. The new servicer will encourage you to apply for a new modification with them, but they will also record a notice of sale and will follow the same scheme. Rinse and repeat, foreclose. It might also be that the servicer approves you for a modification and then sells your servicing rights to a new servicer who also can't find your paperwork. Same story. The purpose is always to keep you in default longer, to make it so that you can't catch up, to make it so that you don't cure your default, and to trick you into missing your foreclosure sale date. An especially cruel trick is to get you to send in a big check, which is to get a modification or to stop a sale. It's a violation of statute in California for a servicer to charge upfront for a modification, so this request will usually be couched as this is to catch up, or it will be made on the phone to make sure there's nothing in writing about the promise. If they are charging you for a modification and the check clears, however, you still have proof of the verbal promise. That's a decent case. One of the most common tricks, which is the hardest to prove, the hardest to bring to court, is when the servicer lies about the sale date being postponed, and this happens the most often. Once a notice of trustee sale has been recorded, California statute allows the servicer to postpone the sale date multiple times without giving you any written mailed notice. So you won't know unless you go to the sale date until that prior sale what your new sale date is. And what you also have to remember is that the servicer's agent, that nice lady or man on the phone, is probably getting an incentive bonus for tricking you into foreclosure. So they'll tell you your sale's on hold, or some other words that they'll say, and then you'll think it's postponed. The next day you'll call them back and they'll say, oh, the hold was lifted. There are a lot of tricks that I haven't covered here, but the main thing you need to remember is that servicers make money from foreclosure. So you should never trust verbal promises from them about your foreclosure. I would also advise getting advice from a foreclosure attorney sooner rather than later, when and if a notice of default is recorded.